Welcome to the ZoCo Podcast. My name is Cody.
And I'm Trevor.
And we are going to be talking about something that happened a week ago that by the time this podcast comes out will have been 2 weeks ago. What's the topic, Trevor?
The Walking Dead.
Season 7, Episode 1.
Ta-da!
No, there is no ta-da.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah.
Yeah, we just watched it. Well, I already saw it, but Cody didn't see it, so we wanted to watch it before we talked about it.
Exactly.
So.
And so, yes, we are going to talk about Episode 1, Season 7 of The Walking Dead. If you haven't seen it, then, skip ahead. About, 10, 15 minutes maybe.
Skip ahead the whole podcast.
And, yeah.
Probably we won't talk about it that long, probably.
No, probably not. There's really not a whole lot to talk about.
No.
There's definitely a lot to talk about. But
yeah, it's not that much.
Not that much. So, yeah, tune out for a little bit and, skip ahead maybe. Right now, we are going to talk about The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 1. It aired 2 weeks ago from the date that this podcast will be posted. You have been warned. So don't complain when you get a spoiler alert. Okay, so like we said, I did not get to see it when it came out. We don't have TV, so
yeah. Well, I just don't watch TV.
It doesn't pop up on cable. So we watch it through iTunes because it comes out, I think, the day after. So yeah, I don't know. How do you want to start? What do you want to start with?
Well, this episode was it's definitely like half the episode was not much really happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That episode was only to kill
literally
Abraham and Glenn.
Yeah,
that was it.
Literally killing off the two characters with the whole episode.
And for him to pretty much just prove he's a dick.
Yeah.
That's it. It was, look, I'm the one that's in control. I'm going to kill your guys. So I killed your guys. Look, I'm in control.
Yep.
And obviously, to get him to, to actually figuratively bow down to him, he says, cut your son's arm off. Yeah, I don't know.
There's still a lot that doesn't follow comics, but there is a lot that is actually pretty close to the comics as to what happens, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, they don't kill Abraham in this. I don't even know if Abraham's in this comics. I haven't even gotten that far in the comics, but
I haven't read them.
I just know that the part where they kill Glenn, the wording and everything is pretty much on base with the comics. Although, of course, Glenn is the only choice in the comic, not a second choice.
Yeah. I wonder how many people were mad when Abraham died first. Because
honestly,
if Abraham wasn't supposed to die, people then see Abraham die and not Glenn die.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like, Abraham was on my list of people who could have been killed. So, like, I was kind of like, okay, it's not that I won't miss Abraham, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of expected that.
Yeah, I think he was a very good character as far as, like, strength, and, he had military background, which gives them the that ability to survive,
yeah.
I think. And I think strategically he got rid of a very strong player. He got rid of, well, I guess two, because he took Daryl. So you kill Abraham, you take Daryl, and then you kill Glenn.
Yep.
Which Glenn's not necessarily a power player, but he is.
It's one of the most favorite characters in the series.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there since the beginning.
Well, and that's the thing, like, Glenn in the comic, and that's the thing, like, since the comics don't follow perfectly with the show, because the show takes a lot of freedom, I guess, with that. In all technical sense, I believe a lot of these events happen a little bit earlier, but I'm not sure, because I haven't followed the comics completely. Because I know, like, for example, Season 2, most of that doesn't even happen in the comics. So, like, they kind of skip around a lot. They skip over things, but they also extended a lot of things too. So I'm not sure exactly where this is supposed to actually happen in terms of if they followed comics perfectly exact. But Glenn, this whole event happens technically sooner than what it happens in the show. It took us 7 seasons to get to this point.
Yeah. I don't know. It was almost like a wasted 45 minutes. Because I think what television has become is I'm going to leave you suspended the entire time and not show you a resolution for the whole 45 minutes until the end. But the resolution is only another question. And that's what The Walking Dead is really good with.
Yeah.
Is you are always hanging. Always. There's no really sense of relief. They're never, they're never safe. They're never, like, protected. Even when they were in, like, the prison, which was supposed to be, like, super safe, super secure, they were still worried about other things inside the prison, things getting into the fence breaking, all that stuff. But now they're trapped.
Yep.
They are definitely in Negan's hands. And what are they going to do?
Yep.
I mean, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know where they go. I don't know what happens from here.
Yeah,
but,
I haven't read all the comics, but I pretty much knew the comics from the beginning till about like the prison era point, and then after that point, I'm just kind of like a little bit fuzzy. But as far as the Negan part, I don't know beyond that because the comics are still going. Like they're still making comics. It's insane how much they're making those things.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones has pretty much met up with the comics.
Well, the books, yeah.
And so now they're both writing pretty much the same thing, except a book and a movie or a TV show.
Although Game of Thrones takes they take way more freedom with their writing than most other stuff does. They do a lot of really controversial stuff as far as just like what happens actually in the book versus what they show, because they kill off characters all the time.
Well, that's a lot of people said that about The Walking Dead, especially early on, is that certain people were dying, certain people were coming in, certain people were staying alive that weren't supposed to, and people they didn't like it. Certain things were coming up before certain other events. And yeah, people will rip into it. It's the same thing with Suicide Squad.
Oh, people will rip into anything.
You have your diehard fans that read all the comics. They know everything that happens. They know everything about every character. And when the movie production isn't right, they flip.
But here's my kind of thinking with at least superhero comics, for example. We'll just take that. The superhero comics have so many alternate realities in a sense. Basically, there's so many different alternate Captain Americas. Captain America's died probably about 50 times.
Exactly. And so is every superhero.
So like seriously, like comics take that freedom as it is already. There's base stories that they base stuff off of, but the rest of it is all creative writing. So movies, I like seeing creative movies, creative new ideas that take ideas from the comics because it makes sense. It's like if the comics do that, then the movies make sense because but with like the Walking Dead, of course, we got one set of comics. We don't have a whole set of universes for it. So that's basically a set story. But even still, even though they've done that, I do like what they have done with the show, and I there's a lot of stuff I do like about it. There's still, I kind of like, they could have probably done this better. They could have done. There's a lot of characters, like for example, Tyrese was actually, he comes in a lot earlier, but he's a really awesome character. Like he's the Daryl character, basically, practically in the comics. But he comes in later in the the show series, and he's kind of he's a good guy, but he's kind of a wimp. And he's kind of, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I didn't really like about the TV Tyrese. Plus with Rick, like Rick's kind of gone really down with his likes.
He's gotten a little psychotic, actually.
He's gotten really psychotic. I don't know how he is in the comic, but because I just know the comics are supposed to portray Rick as he is a good guy who is stuck between choosing what's best and what's not good. And if the best thing is to do the not good thing, then he's going to take it to survive. But he's always kind of a conflicted guy, whereas the comic, the show, tries to take that same idea, but he kind of comes out more psychotic than anything. So you can't really tell what he is. I don't know. He just
Well, and also he's lost a wife, and he's trying to raise a son with one eye.
yeah.
So it might be a little tough for him. I really don't know. It's a very interesting premise where they're at now, that they don't necessarily have their own place. They're now under somebody else's jurisdiction.
Yep.
And obviously it's going to be a fight to get away. We understand that, but
yeah, eventually.
What's going to happen? It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Season 7 will be definitely be interesting.
But I just don't like the how much you get hung on. You get left.
Yep, that's a method for TV.
That's a method for anything. When you write anything, that's your hook.
Yeah.
But I'm almost sick of it because, like, we've waited how long to see that, and in 45 minutes, all that was accomplished was 2 people died. That's it. That is like all that happened in the first episode.
Yep.
7 seasons in, nothing, no like action, no like moving around. They left once and came back to the exact same spot.
Yep.
The same set. Nothing happened. 1 episode.
Yep.
Typically, that's not good. That's you got to get out. You got to move around. You got to be doing something. They didn't do anything.
Well, that's the thing. That's kind of the brilliance of it too. If you think about it, people that get pissed at that episode, it's going to be scratching at the back of their mind the whole time. They're gonna, even if they hated that episode and it's like the most disliked episode, they're gonna come back for more because it's like, I need to see something that will actually resolve. So it keeps people coming back. That's why you'll see episodes that, even if it kind of resolves with the question at the end, there'll be parts where like there'll be huge accomplishments in the episode that kind of bring back the good feelings. Like, okay, good, it's coming back again, even if things are kind of dire at the end of the episode. But that's the thing, like even with an episode like this, it'll still be scratching at the back of your mind, even if you hated that episode and you say, "Oh, I don't want to watch the show again."
And what makes me mad is, yes, I want the resolve. I know I'm not going to get it for an entire season.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, they're going to force you to hang on to the next season, where you are just stuck in this loop. It's the exact same dumb loop as Lost, where you have all these questions and you want all these questions answered. I'm afraid that at the end, whenever they decide to stop writing The Walking Dead, they're gonna say, "Well, we've created this thing and we need to clean up and just stop it." That's what Lost did to me. Is like, well, crap, we've dug this giant hole. We're stuck in this giant hole. Let's just end it.
Finish it off.
And they picked the stupidest ending.
I heard that Rick is supposed to die before they finish.
He's got to, right?
It's a rumor that he's supposed to die. Daryl, I think, is also supposed to die eventually.
So let's talk about this. Who can't die? Who just absolutely can't die?
Let's see here. Carl
can't die.
He can't die.
Absolutely, he can't die. I feel Daryl shouldn't die.
He shouldn't die, but there's a rumor that he probably will eventually. Maybe Michonne?
I don't think Michonne can die.
Yeah.
She's a powerful character.
Yeah, she's, even in the comics, like, she's just powerhouse the whole time.
Other than that, though, I would have said Glenn. Glenn. I don't know, because you kind of like him from the beginning.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a likable character the whole time.
His like opening line is like, "Hey, prick in a tank." It's like, there you go. There's some younger humor, I guess.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think everybody else is expendable.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, we got characters like Aaron that didn't even show up until later, in season 5, right? That's when Alexandria, season 5.
Is this the longest they've been on one set? Because they're technically still in Alexandria.
Let's see here, because Alexandria didn't show up until like 4 episodes left in season 5, so it was like the end of season 5, and then all of season 6, Yeah, because prison was beginning of season 3. Prison lasted through season 4. So far we're almost caught up with the.
So where exactly were they before the prison? Because
before the prison, season 2 was pretty much Herschel's farm, which comics they're on Herschel's farm for like a few pages.
Yeah, but they started in the city. They they had their camp, so those were the settings there, and then the camp gets invaded, so they leave. That's when they get to the farm, stick around at the farm. From the farm gets taken over. They go to the prison. Prison gets taken over. They go to the that small little city with the.
Well, for a while they're wandering.
Governor?
Oh well, no, because what happens is season 3 is all pretty much the prison. And at the end of season 3, the people with the governor, I can't remember the city's name for whatever reason, but they all come over to the prison, and so in the prison they're all together and whatnot for about half of season 4, and then the governor invades and takes over the prison pretty much, and the rest of season 4 is them wandering. Same thing with season 5. The beginning half of season 5 is all them just like wandering and kind of getting together. It's Terminus.
Finding Terminus, yeah. Which, like I mentioned also when we were watching, they got more gruesome and just weird and psychotic with the bad guys. You had the governor who was, he was willing to kill people. He was willing to just put a bullet in their head. Well, putting a bullet in someone's head's not as bad as butchering them and eating them.
Yeah.
And then trapping the one guy and then cutting off his leg and eating him, and
poor Bob.
That being your death. But now they've gone from insane, psychotic eating people to this guy who's absolutely ridiculous, who obviously showed he doesn't care who he kills.
Oh yeah,
he just kills.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, and in the most brutal way.
Yep.
Bashing heads in. Where do you go from there? Like. Season 8, I'm calling it right now. Season 8 is going to be some crazy guy with a tree shredder who just throws bodies into tree shredders.
Oh boy.
I'm calling it now because I don't know how worse you can get from bashing people's heads in with a bat.
Everybody who actually reads the comics is going to be like, no, that's not what happens.
Yeah, probably. Hey, tell us what's going to happen. Nobody else comments. We always tell people to comment, so nobody comments. So bring it on, guys.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's 20 minutes of talking about that. You want to talk about something else that came out earlier this week?
Yeah. So Titanfall 2 is finally out.
Titanfall. So I have not picked it up. So you are on your own on this one. I have nothing to add.
Yeah, I got it for the Xbox One. I got the deluxe edition. I pre-ordered it from GameStop a while back, so I've had this been ready for a while. Eventually, I'll probably get it for PC so Cody and I can play. But so far, I've only played the campaign mode, and I'm loving it so far. I can't wait to play the multiplayer mode. I want to try to finish campaign before I play multiplayer, or I don't know, but. So far, just the campaign itself is it's great. It's bringing me back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare days. That's those were some of the best campaigns back then, and this one it's I've already loved that they've brought out all these new different weapons and finally various different loadouts. I really like that. Now I haven't played multiplayer yet, so I don't really know what the multiplayer is like yet. But there's supposed to be a lot more content. There's supposed to be a lot more loadouts, more Titans. It's supposed to be pretty awesome. So I'm really excited to actually get more into that. So far, it's a great game. I'm loving it.
I can't wait. I want to get it. I haven't. I've been busy this weekend with a lot of different stuff. Just to mention that this podcast will be out next Saturday, which means probably on Thursday a video came out, and if you haven't seen it yet, you have to go see it. What are you still doing here? Go watch that and then come back to this. The challenge, the Wither challenge that Alex challenged us the very first episode of the podcast. 22 podcasts ago. 21 podcasts ago.
21.
So the first episode's up, and if you want to see what happens, go check it out.
Yep, and we'll try to post more as we go along. We've got a few in the bucket, but we want to try to keep making videos so that we can put them out there. It took how long for this to render?
Oh my gosh. I had so many problems with this one. Shadow play is my worst nightmare. Well, I absolutely hate shadow play.
Well, the first problem was that you just couldn't even upload it, right?
So, the first problem...
the first one you couldn't even get it on Adobe.
So, yeah, the first problem was I had taken the raw video file and put it into Adobe, and then it would just crash. So, I could make 2 cuts probably to the actual video itself, and then Adobe would just completely crash. So I was like, okay, I need to change the file. I need to fix the file. So we put it through Handbrake. And once I put it through Handbrake, the file, I'd import it into Adobe Premiere. So we use Premiere and After Effects and all that. I'd import it into Premiere. And it only, when I dragged it down to the timeline, it would only give me 3 seconds of the video. And I'm like, what the freak? So, one, I got a full video that doesn't work. Now I got the video, but it's only 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So I went through Handbrake again. I changed a bunch of settings, fixed it. Also, the original file was, I believe, 17 gigs.
Yeah.
So, which, that's better than Fraps, because a file like that would be huge on Fraps. We recorded for an hour, a little over an hour.
A little over an hour, yeah. About each one we've recorded for about a little over an hour.
And I cut it down into 40 minutes.
Yeah.
40, 45 minutes, something like that. And so finally, the third time it worked. I had no problems. Every time I made a cut, I hit save. I was Control-S-ing the whole time. Just do. I didn't want to lose anything. But it never crashed, thank goodness. It hung up a couple times, and it scared me for a second, but I always had a save. I exported it, rendered it, and the rendering, when I first hit render, I walked away because I was thinking like the podcast,
Yeah.
Podcast takes a couple hours to render, and I just let it go. So I walked away without even checking the time. I come back, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes later, and I look at it to look at how much it's done. And that yellow bar has, not moved. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I look at the estimated time remaining, and it said, 20-something hours. And at that point, I'm like, oh, freak, this is going to take forever. So I had to go to bed, I think, by that point. So I went to bed, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let this run overnight, let it run tomorrow, and it'll be fine. Not going to worry about it. It'll be done tomorrow. I wake up and it says 30 hours left. I'm like, I just slept for 6 hours and now there's more time on here? What the freak?
Oh boy.
I get back from work and it has 40 hours left or something, something ridiculous. And overall it took 41 hours to render that video.
That's just rendering.
That's not the cutting, doing the audio, doing the video, putting them together.
Yeah.
The upload to YouTube took no time at all. I just set that to go in the background. It did it. So, but so I got number 2 to do. Hopefully, I've already done some pieces on that, so that hopefully will go a lot easier.
Yeah, and we got a few more, and then we'll keep recording as soon as we get a chance.
So, I just brought up our YouTube page. I just want you to see this. Do you guys remember what Alex promised last week? He promised videos. And I say that. Videos.
Videos.
That's plural.
3 or 4?
Yeah, that's multiple videos. He had a few. I don't remember how many, but a few.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm looking at the page right now. Do you see anything from Alex?
No.
No, those are all mine. Yeah. So, Alex, this is what happens when you're not on the podcast and you don't do your job. You get roasted.
You get called out.
Called out and roasted. It's all right. We have our own cheesecake this week.
Road to Surrey style. Oh, gosh. We have to send him pictures.
Yep. We, last week he challenged us with the cheesecake, and because he had cheesecake and we didn't. And so we went out and got cheesecake today. So it was good. New York style. Just as Trevor said.
Yes.
Good stuff. But 3 views. Oh dang.
People are watching as we speak.
Just before my eyes, the number went up.
It's happening.
Oh, man.
So that means we know that people are watching.
People are watching, but what's interesting is you look at Podcast 19 with 45 views, and you look at Podcast 29.
Oh, I was like, 29?
Podcast 29 views.
29? When did you record 29?
I don't know when I recorded 29, but we're recording 22 right now. No, it's just really interesting how, like, you know, our views are so low, but for some reason, Podcast 19 was a hit.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, I might have an idea as to why.
Yeah, my buddy, Naomi, shared our videos a lot, so that's why. So we need to get her more. I tried asking her. She hasn't gotten back to me today. So.
She was invited to this podcast, and she did not make it. So I'm going to call her out, too. She was not on the podcast, but definitely look forward. We are definitely trying to get her to
She
be on
wants
the podcast.
to. Like, she definitely wants to, so you might hear her more often. So if you liked her, share our videos, let everybody know she's coming back.
She will be on one of the next podcasts.
Yeah, I'll have to keep in contact with her. It's been tough keeping in contact. She has a little kid, so
yeah. Also, guess what else is coming up? I'm excited about this. I don't think you are, because I think you've mentioned it. Yeah. The next Harry Potter movie. Now, it's not Harry Potter.
No.
It's just one of her other books that she wrote, which, again, was a screenplay.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm just excited because it's a part of the Harry Potter world. And I love the world. They created something that I think is just fantastic. So that comes out on November 18th, which is a couple weeks away. And I'm going to go see it for sure.
What day is that?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
So it'll come out midnight on Thursday. Here we go. We go play volleyball.
Oh boy.
That would make that Friday so hard for me. We go because I have school on Thursday. So school on Thursday. Go play volleyball. Go grab some food and then go to the midnight showing.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, work the next day for both of us.
And then work at 4:00 in the morning for me.
Yeah, so you've got 2 hours of sleep.
Less than
that because
the midnight showing is at 12, which means it doesn't start till 12:30. It's a probably 2-hour movie.
It's at least a 2-hour film.
That's 2:30. Not getting back home until 3, and then honestly, probably not actually getting to sleep. So it would be working from. It'd be me getting up at 4 o'clock on Thursday morning, and not going to bed until I get off work on Friday.
Or we could go on Friday night.
Or we go Friday night. That sounds like a better option.
We'll do that, and then we'll talk about it that week.
Yeah, because we'll get to be able to talk about it that Friday or that Saturday for the podcast.
Yeah,
but I'm excited. I love the world. I love what she's done with it.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly would like to see The Cursed Child to be a movie.
Be interesting at this point.
It'd be interesting. From what I saw in the previews, it's almost weird that they don't have an English accent. Because you expect to hear it, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same world. It's designed pretty much exactly the same as it is, in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's just in America.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And that's actually going off that real quick, because that's actually something I've always wondered about. Like, we have this wizarding world, and obviously Hogwarts is in England.
Mm-hmm.
What about America?
She has said it, that there are schools in Asia, Australia, America.
There's schools in what are the Dunstring from there?
Don't ask me.
They're from like one of the like Russian,
Yeah, well the guys,
like Bulgarian.
The guys,
like that.
they're one of those Russian areas.
Yeah, it's like, I guess Bulgarians because Victor Crumb is on the Bulgarian team.
Hey, I have this magnificent device right in front of me. It's called a computer.
What sorcery is this?
Victor Crumb.
Crumb is with a K.
Yep, that is. I went with a C.
Calling you out now.
Yeah,
we are roasting
Oh, it's also Victor's, as in German Victor.
Well, it's that whole.
So Durmstrang, where is Durmstrang located? Draco Malfoy. The Durmstrang Institute.
It's located in Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just right underneath it says Draco Malfoy.
Bulgaria.
Yeah, so from Bulgaria, nethermost regions of Norway or Sweden. Interesting. So Bulgaria, and then what's the other one? What?
Well, the other one's France.
Is it France?
Yeah. Well,
It's the girls.
Yeah. They're French.
So she has said, yeah, there are schools in other places. So maybe we'll see more. I know she said she's done with books, but I don't know.
Well, see, I would love if she's done with books and whatever. I would love if she allowed someone else to kind of take over, and kind of continue
but
it.
she'd have to guide them on so much.
True, but if someone, there's plenty of geeks out there that could probably do that.
Whoa, careful.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. We're geeks.
We're geeks.
We're geeks.
But yeah, I don't know.
Plenty of people that learn stuff like that. Like they learn all the details of the world just based off the books. I mean, there's people like Lord of the Rings, for example.
Have you been to Universal Studios?
I haven't been there really.
I want to go, but I'm afraid to go because, okay, Disneyland used to have it's not a ride, it's more like a set. So Disneyland had the Swiss Family Robinson little treehouse, and you could go and you just you get to look at everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really cool because you're almost immersed into it.
Yeah.
But they changed it to Tarzan. So now it's the Tarzan treehouse. And what happens? You're in this giant tourist line that you just walk and look at it, and then just you get off when you're done as the line goes. That's what I'm afraid of with going to Universal. That going there is almost like just looking at things. What I want is to be able to walk into a shop and say, I want a wand. And, you kind of, not the exact same process, but you walk into the shop. It's designed as the set is designed.
Yeah.
You get that same feeling, and you get to buy a wand just so that you're immersed into it. Not just, oh, check it out. This looks just like the set. Cool. All right, let's go now to the next set.
Here's kind of the problem I have with a lot of stuff nowadays, especially with when amusement parks become really crowded. The reason they do that, I think, is just they kind of try to herd people through it. They want to make sure that everybody gets the quote experience.
But when you call it Harry Potter World,
yeah,
you can't just have this, this boat that floats on the water as you look at things, at animated, things.
Yeah.
You need to create something that's immersive. I want to walk into a tavern and buy butterbeer,
Oh yeah, no.
I want the immersive event, not just a tourist event.
Exactly. And that's what, I love stuff like that. It's just the problem with today's world now is that they want to make sure that everybody, that there's an order to it, because let's face it, people just get crazy about stuff like that. They get really just naturally kind of pushy about each other, and it's like they feel like, hey, you've taken way too long. I want a chance to do this, and it kind of breaks out into stuff. I mean,
Black Friday.
Yes, but Black Friday. In fact, speaking of Black Friday too, this year apparently a lot of stores are not going to be open on Black Friday.
Yeah, a lot of people they're done with it because it's
last year was
primal instinct at its best.
Last year,
or worst, I guess.
This is starting to get on the border of politics and stuff, but last year you can look at a picture of Black Friday in America versus a Black Friday in the UK, and you will see there's something wrong with America.
Yeah, it's because we're all a bunch of selfish pricks, and we think the world owes us everything. Yeah. Well, wake up, guys. The world owes you nothing. So a huge thing is stores will just set a pallet down, cut it open at the time it's supposed to be cut open, and then they just walk away and let people devour that
feeding trough.
Yeah, and the people just go ridiculously insane over 20-50% off of something.
Yeah.
Cyber Monday. You get to stay at home, stay in your PJs, drink your hot chocolate,
and order
and get the same deal.
Yep.
I mean, calm down, people. It's not that. Oh man, people are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Calm down.
But that's the mentality of America now, is that, it's the feeding trough, it's the herding. We've become cattle.
Yeah.
Naturally. And it's like, that's kind of the unfortunate truth, and that's why amusement parks try to do that, is trying to create an order to it rather than having chaos on their hands and having to deal with lawsuits.
So speaking of the great American feeding trough, I said this in another podcast, and I just want to bring it up slightly, 2 seconds. Voting day is around the corner, November 8th. Go vote. Your state has propositions. Those propositions matter to your state because when those propositions take place, your taxes will either increase or decrease. So you complain about the government taxing you too much money, you are in control in just a few days. So go out, register if you're 18. I think it's actually too late to register at this point.
But by the point that you hear this, it'll be too late to register. But
if you are registered, go vote. It is so important. This. A lot of people don't. I think over 3/4 of the United States doesn't vote.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because when they come up with the polls, they say,
well, they take a sample amount of people at the statistics. Take a sample amount of people and ask them a series of questions or whatever question, are you registered to vote, kind of thing. Or they'll just take, from statistics, will take out of the populations estimated, out of that who are registered and who are not.
Yeah.
So it's all statistics. So
it's kind of crazy. I think more people should definitely go out and vote. It's kind of a big thing, You're about to have a leader for your country, and I don't know.
Staying neutral is not a great option.
No. Well, it's worked out for Switzerland. But
at least if you have an opinion, stay neutral is not the way to go.
No, definitely not.
If you have an opinion, go with your opinion.
The worst people, though, are those that complain about the election who didn't vote.
Exactly.
It's like, look, you didn't vote. You didn't do your civic duty.
Yeah.
So you don't get to argue. You don't get to complain. This is not. It's not your battle.
It's like trying to win the lottery without playing.
Exactly. I want to win the lottery, but I don't want to pay to win the lottery.
That's your problem. So there's your moral, people. Go play the lottery.
Just go play the lottery. Become a millionaire. And you know what? I'm gonna give you your number right now. This is the number that you have to go play the next Mega or Powerball. Your number, if you should choose to use it, is 27, 38, 44, 55, 68, and your Mega or Power number is 6.
Bingo! Oh, sorry, wrong game.
Oh, man.
Wait, I said it in the wrong voice.
Bingo! So, for all you 10 listeners out there, go play those numbers.
And by the way, thank you for listening.
Also, thank you for listening. Please keep listening. Invite your friends.
Share, please.
Oh, goodness. Well, we've had a interesting discussion today. We've gone into politics. We've probably offended a bunch of people. We've spoiled stuff, which is, going to make people mad.
It's okay. We lump ourselves with the great feeding trough.
Oh, yeah. We're a part of the great feeding trough, too. We live in America.
Yeah.
We live in the worst part of America.
Yeah.
It's jam-packed, the politics, everything. Southern California. Gotta love it.
Yeah, we're no exception.
Well, should we end this?
I think that's about it.
Watch out for Mayumi being on one of the podcasts. We will...
Maybe more.
Yep. And we will be talking about the Harry Potter movie coming out soon, hopefully. We'll hopefully get to talk more about Titanfall 2 whenever I decide to get that. The Wither Challenge is out, so go watch that on our channel.
We will continue to put out those videos.
Yep, those videos will come out every single Thursday. I can't wait for episode 2 because that is the greatest, which is, I guess, is a little bit of a spoiler for episode 1. We'd made it through, but episode 2 is a great one. You gotta watch it. Freaking hilarious.
Oh boy.
But we had our cheesecake. We did a podcast. I think we did good. Keep up on the channel. And
Alex?
we have some things coming.
Alex, get your videos out?
I guess Alex has some videos coming, but he'll get those out to you probably within the next 8 to 10 months, which is pretty much like a year.
Which
and
is
if,
a lifetime.
If we're gonna call it a year, that might as well be like a decade.
5 years, yeah.
And if we're gonna call it a decade, we might as well just call it a century.
Yeah.
So that video will come out to you in about a century.
What is that? 2116? Golly, we'll have more videos.
Wow, 2116.
That is the 22nd century, people. We will get more videos from Alex.
Hey, we were born in the 90s. Do you think we'll ever make it to the 2100s?
Well, that's over 100 years. That's pushing limits.
It's well over 100 years.
That's pushing limits there.
Because we're the early 90s.
Yeah, 91.
So that makes it tough. You'd have to live to be 109. But that'd be so cool. You could say you lived in 3 generations.
It is
or
possible.
3 centuries.
Yeah, it is possible.
You lived in the 1900s, the 2000s, and then you could be able to say the 2100s. That would be so cool. The pain, though. Oh, man.
Oh, I don't
Being
think I'd want to live
old.
that. I don't think I want to live that long.
Frail skin.
I'm just gonna invent a time machine, and I'm just gonna go there, live there for about a year, go to the next century, go live there for about a year.
Where do you go on vacation? Oh, I go to the 22nd century. All right. Well, we should end this podcast.
Alrighty.
So, you guys take care and stay tuned until next week, and we will have more for you.
Later.
Bye.